again from Rain Country, and this is part 7 of a multiple part series in preparedness. And today we wanted to talk about clothing. Any of us in the preparedness and homestead community knows the importance of good, sturdy, situational type clothing. And what I mean by that is each and every one of us lives in a different climate. Most climates overlap. Some climates are hotter than others in the summer, and some are wetter than others in different parts of the year. So,
like us.
Yeah.
All the parts of the year.
So if you don't have 5 sets of scuba gear and you live in rain country, you're wrong. No, seriously, good work attire, things applicable to your environment are critical in the realm of preparedness. So what do we want to talk about first, Mrs. Rain?
Do you want to talk about, should we talk about boots and shoes?
We'll talk about boots and shoes. We'll start from the bottom up. So if you're in a farm application or you're out hunting, if you're in the city, what kind of footwear would you like to have? Well, I think in all those particular types of incidences, I think a good sturdy pair of boots is a good all-around shoe that you got to consider in your preparations, and not just one pair. A couple, 2 or 3 sets doesn't hurt. Not just to sit on the shelf, but actually to rotate, especially when it comes to good leather boot. Rotation is a good thing. The other thing is to break those boots in, because you never know when you're going to need them. So in an application where you don't necessarily have to get out and hit it hard, consider getting a fresh pair of boots, breaking them in, and keeping them well oiled is a really good thing to consider. I've had these are Danners. I like them that they come up over top of my ankles, so it protects your ankles. If you're out in the woods hiking around, any of y'all know that protecting your ankles, giving you more ankle support is really important, and a good sturdy boot with a good sturdy sole and traction is also something to think about when you're out in the woods. They have different types of hiking shoes out there that I'm a little less encouraging to get those because they have limitations, but they give you a little more freedom of movement for your ankles and different things. But a good sturdy boot might be the difference between spraining an ankle or breaking something or giving you a little more sure footing. So rock climbing is obviously different than running around out in the woods. Working on the farm is a little different yet than that, but I think working in a farm, you're going to have areas where you're going to have slippery situations and situations where your footing is not really sure. Mrs. Rain, do you got anything to add to the footwear?
Yes, I do. So some of this, obviously when we're talking about looking for good sturdy boots and just footwear in general, obviously for prepping, I think, like Mr. Rain, everybody should have a good pair of good fitting boots, particularly waterproof, something that can be good all-terrain, that can work in any situations, snow, wet, whatever. But you don't have to spend a fortune on boots either. Now, here's a pair of boots that I have that I bought locally, and I really, really like them. They have the Thinsulate in them, and they're very warm, they're very waterproof. I've worn them in puddles and hiking around and all kinds of stuff. No water's gotten through. And I don't remember what I paid for these, but I know I bought these brand new and they didn't cost me a whole awful lot. I think they were maybe around $50 or so. And they might not have the same kind of soles as like Mr. Rain's Danner boots, but these have been just a very good all-around boot for me. And I bought these actually on clearance, and one thing you have to keep in mind is I have very little feet, so I am fortunate enough to buy my shoes and boots in the kids department, which means they're even cheaper. So if you're fortunate enough to do that, have smaller feet, you might be able to save money, you know, looking in the kids department and see what you can find. Now, I was really bummed, as much as I like these boots, that I just didn't go ahead and get 2 pairs, because I thought it was a pretty good price, and they were, you know, they just served me well. But then what happened this last summer is we were garage sailing, and I found a pair exactly like them that had hardly been worn. And, you know, because they were bought for a kid, and she probably only wore them for a few months tops, and then they got put in a garage sale for $1. And so now I have a backup pair. So when we're talking about any of this, when it comes to clothing, you know, especially from the point of view of a woman, we have a tendency to really want to get tons and tons and tons of clothes. It tends to be a weakness for most of us. When we're looking at prepping, a lot of people think hoarding, but there's got to be this balance. And so we can stock up on good, sensible clothing and toss out anything that is of no real value or use. I don't care how much money it costs. If it's not valuable in keeping you warm and keeping you dry and all these kind of things, and it's just a fashion statement, then as soon as the fashion statement's over, I would toss it. Me, I don't get caught up in fashion, as many of you know, and so that's just not an issue for me. But, you know, if because of where you work or whatever, staying in fashion or staying, you know, looking a certain way is important, then only keep for yourself, as far as those things, minimally what you need, then for your job, but everything else should be focused on what is going to be useful for work. And whatever situation comes up, you should be able to move easy in it, and you should be able to wear it for a long period of time. So in another example I wanted to show, now these are actually wrestling shoes. Another pair of shoes that I got for a couple of dollars, kids shoes that were practically brand new. These are just a good comfortable shoe that I grabbed for that, so that I could have some backup comfortable shoes to wear for wherever. And then I want to show you real quick the shoes I wear around the house. Now, they stopped making these slip-on shoes like this, which disappointed me, because this is what I wear around the house, so I can kick them off before I walk outside, kick them off before I walk onto the carpet, but then still be able to wear them without, that way I'm not tracking dirt everywhere. And I don't have time to be stopping and pulling shoes on and tying them, all that. I need something I can just slip on. And so these ones in particular were an older pair I wore for quite a long time, bought a new pair of sneakers, then took these and just simply cut the back out of them. And then Mr. Rain went and did some whip stitching around there and all that to help them stay together.
Can I add something, Mrs. Rain?
Yes.
So I told you about these Danner boots here, and they do make a stateside model.
Right, I was going to say that
and
too.
they're a little more expensive, but shoes are one of those sayings that, just like tools or anything else, you kind of get what you pay for. You pay a little bit more for them. They fit a little bit better. And they're just a better made boot, I believe. You go out and try on boots or shoes, get what is comfortable to your foot, because everybody's foot is shaped differently. Mm-hmm. And so get a good rugged boot or shoe that fits you and is comfortable. And one other thing that I wanted to share with you is obviously if you live in a wet climate or if you work on a farm, I know I'm speaking to the choir on this one, but a good pair of rubber boots that come up over your calf muscle is, in my opinion, a necessary thing.
Right, like bogs.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they have boots. They have rubber boots out there that you can get for next to nothing. Well,
Those don't last very
just
long.
go ahead and welcome early leaks and blood blisters on your feet. So,
Yep. Invest in some bogs or something like
invest
that.
a little bit.
Okay, and then since we're still on feet, looking for some good wool socks. I recommend wool socks or even a wool blend, which most of the socks you're going to find, the merino wool, are going to be a blend anyway. Can be, you know, and if you're into knitting and crocheting, you may even want to just get some 100% wool and make your own socks. I'm not really to that point where I'm interested in doing my own socks that way, because I can get a pretty good deal, again, because I have little feet, on socks in the kids department. One brand of sock I recommend is the Smart Wool socks. And again, these are like the hiking ones, and I get these in the kids department. I get them when they go on sale at our local store. They have our one store that we have. Twice a year they have something called a Moonlight Madness sale. And everything in clothing ends up being 20% off from 7 till 11 o'clock at night. And so that's when we go in there, and I'll stock up on the Smart Wool because they are expensive, but I can get them, kids department, $10 a pair, and then 20% off when I shop then, and then I get several pairs then. And the reason I recommend these ones, the Smart Wool, is because they are the longest lasting pair of socks I've ever had. And then I also, when I find the cheap ones like this for a couple of dollars, I still will purchase these when they're on sale, because I also will darn my socks. These get holes in them right away, but once they do, I darn them up, and then they last me for a very long time.
So we got shoes, we got socks. Let's work up from there, Mama.
Okay, what about pants?
Breeches.
Breeches.
I like a good sturdy work pant. As you can see, I'm always wearing suspenders, and I like a loose fitting set of Carhartts. We have Carhartts. My pants, they have these little button loops here. I really like that for freedom of range of movement. So I like those. I don't know if anybody's ever seen me wear them since we started this channel. I haven't worn them for about a year. The Bib Coveralls, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are just the bibs, and you wear a t-shirt or a flannel shirt with them. They're good, rugged work clothes. They're also a Carhartt. I know there's others. Key makes some, and there's a bunch of different ones out there. I particularly like Carhartt because of the more like a canvas type of material on them, and they last a long time. You got lots of pockets on them. I keep knives and notepads and pencils and stuff like that in the chest pocket. I just haven't wore those in a while, and our town doesn't carry those anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why not.
But I think that's part of the reason why we don't. You haven't seen me wear those, and they are a little more expensive than the pants, the Carhartt pants. So, anyways, whatever you guys out on the farm or whatever like that, those are really good, sturdy work clothes to get.
Yeah, so we highly recommend Carhartt. I think most people here in the U.S. can find Carhartts, and you can also look specifically for Carhartts that are U.S. made.
Right.
A lot of people assume all of them are made in the U.S., but they are not. So look specifically for that. In fact, there's a place called allamericanclothing.com.
Right.
That if you can't find any local and you want the U.S. made ones, they carry the U.S. made ones in the Carhartt pants. And coats and stuff like that. So, and we also have, I know we were talking about pants, but we also wear the Carhartt coats. Like here's mine. Okay, and we get these when they go on clearance. We buy the coats and stuff like that at the same sale I was talking about, and his pants, and then even if we already have a nice coat, we might get another one so we can have a backup, because these are great coats. They last for a very long time, just like anything Carhartt.
There's other companies out there that make good quality clothing. We just happen to have Carhartt. I know Filson is a real good, reputable company out there that have really good, sturdy work clothing. So.
But we're going by what we know, what we
that's
wear.
What we do.
And,
yeah, there's
and
a
Carhartt
lot.
works great for us.
Anyways, the thing I like about the Carhartt pant is they have a double front on them, so it's a double layer of blue jean, really husky blue jean type material. The Carhartt bibs are also built that way, so they last quite a while.
And then when they just get too many holes and too wore out, or he has a blowout in them, then I just simply cut them up and turn them into quilts, and they make great heavy warm quilts. And I don't know how we're sitting on one of our quilts right now, but I have several of these around the house. So they just, and then they last even longer. So it's
Right.
worth the expense to me to buy the Carhartt jeans for him, because yeah, I mean, he wears them out and then turn them into quilts. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my pants that I wear, because people are going to be curious about that, because most of you know that I wear skirts all the time. So what do I do for pants? I do have some things I keep on hand, like I do have some Carhartt overalls, and I do have some other things that we're going to get to in a minute in case I absolutely need it. But for the sake of, because of the fact that I wear long skirts all the time, I actually make my own leggings out of a lightweight thermal net. They're very warm and very comfortable, and I can go hiking around, I can do my chores around the house, I can shovel horse manure in my skirts and stay warm any time of the year, and also still stay cool wearing these. And I make them myself, very simple, easy pattern. I just kind of throw them together, and I save a lot of money doing that, because it costs about, for 100% cotton, you know, maybe $7 for a yard of the thermal knit, and that's enough to make me a pair of leggings, plus even an under top if I need to out of that. So there's $7 is pretty inexpensive. And again, I'm going to go back to the garage sale thing. So many of these clothes, a lot of these things, maybe not the shoes, because you want to make sure you get a pair that fits you well and it's not too broken to somebody else's foot, but you know, like flannel shirts. I wear a lot of flannel shirts. I love them. I find most of mine at garage sales, and they're practically brand new when I get them, maybe for $1, 50 cents, $2 max, and it's just so worth it. And so there's just a lot you can find as far as, you know, kind of working our way up when it comes to tops. You can find a lot of great t-shirts and flannel shirts and things like that at garage sales. So that's one way you can make up the difference on the money you put into the jeans and the boots.
Right. So we got the boots, we got the shoes, we got the pants, we have some thermal knit type undergarments. Layers is a real important thing in keeping warm. A lot of thin layers in general will outdo a thick layer.
Yep.
So you can take, if you get too hot out there, you're hiking around, the weather starts to change and get a little nicer. You don't want to sweat. You want to maintain warmth, but you don't want to get too cold, or you don't want to get too hot. If you get too hot, then you sweat. When you sweat, then your clothes get moist, and then when you stop, then you're going to get cold. So layers is a real good way to regulate your body heat when you're out. If you're getting lost out in the woods, or you get broke down or whatever like that, layers is really important.
Or even just around your house. I wear layers for several reasons.
Right.
Because of that.
Mm-hmm. So that leads us into, in rain country, we always are thinking about wet. Even in summertime, you never know when you're going to get a rainstorm here. So think about what it is, or what kind of rain clothes you want to procure for your preparations. In the wintertime, obviously, you want a little heavier rain clothes. In the summertime, you want a little lighter rain clothes. Again, layers is really important. I have a few things that I keep in a go bag. I keep in my car. I keep on the motorcycle. I keep on the quad. I keep at the house. So a lot of these things are a variation of things that you might consider. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you, and I'm not going to take this out of this bag because it's so nice and neat, but this is actually a Ripstop Poncho, and I keep 2 of these in my go bag because I can make a shelter out of this. This is really lightweight. They have little metal grommets on them. Just wanted to show you that. I keep these on my quad. It's just a set of rain gear. I have a pair of, this is a coat and this is a pair of pants. They're light. These would also be something you could put in a go bag. This one's got a hood on it. It's just the, full meal deal.
It's really nice, got lots of pockets and stuff.
Got a drawstring back in here, so you can close this up to your face, and it fits in a real fine area, and it breathes well. And again, it's made out of the Ripstop. This particular set is not the bib type rain pant, but I really like the bib style. They hold up better, they cover more. Another quick set of rain gear I thought was pretty cool, so when you guys are looking at different options for rain gear, this has a little belt, just a snap belt that goes onto your waist. It just snaps into place. You can adjust this belt. This is made from Rivers West, and it just goes into this bag. The whole thing wraps into this bag.
Pants and jacket.
It has a pants and jacket in it. What's pretty cool about it, when I open this up, I can take out the pants. I got a different color set of pants, obviously. But this unwraps, and the bag is actually part of the raincoat.
Yep.
So you don't lose the bag. It ends up being a pocket.
It's really a neat jacket.
It's actually a pretty cool jacket, and so...
And it also has lots of nice pockets and stuff on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice set. So real lightweight, something that I keep in my my go bag. And so anyway, that's just a little bit on lightweight rain gear.
Now these particular items are things that are going to be similar to the boots. You may want to look at investing a little bit more into this kind of stuff, because this rain gear, the Rivers West, and then there's another set that we each have. They are definitely more of a investment, but they're worth it because they work and they last for a long time.
You don't use them every day, but when you do, it's nice to have them in place.
Right.
You know, I don't know that I've ever really wore those for an extended period of time, other than trying them on, wearing them around a little bit, think, okay, yeah, I like these, and that's something that I wanted to put in my go bag. Like I say, I have several different sets of rain gear poised all around different cars and quads and different things.
Well, there's different levels. This is a lighter weight for
right.
For
This
warmer
is something
months.
if you're out and about and you get caught in a little bit of rain, or you even to layer up a little bit if it's cool outside. It's just another little insulator for you.
Right. And then we each have a set of the heavier set.
Yeah, we have.
I love my set.
These are real nice because they have the neoprene inside. They have the protected shoulders, so if you're wearing a backpack, or if you're packing a gun or something like that, with a strap on it, it doesn't wear out the material. They've really put a lot of thought into this particular set of rain gear. This has lots of pockets in it. It's real thick, and they've really done a great job in thinking about how to put this together. And the other thing I want to share with you guys, when you're looking for a set of rain gear, consider getting a zipper that's a heavy-duty zipper, a real thick, heavy-duty zipper. Because zippers, a lot of times you get something that's a real cool outfit, and you use the zipper twice and it breaks. This is not the case with these. These are, in my opinion, a pretty top-notch set of rain gear.
Oh.
How did that happen?
I must have stuck that egg in my pocket when I was out with the chickens one day, and I was wearing that. Oh my gosh. Whoops. So that is, by the way, my jacket. I brought my set in.
Yeah.
And I do have a set of these, of the bibs. And I tell you, we went out shooting one day, on a winter day. It was really, really cold, and we were each wearing, don't step on the egg, we were each wearing our set of bibs and our coat, and it just, boy, I tell you, it kept us nice and toasty, warm, cozy, without being too warm. In fact, when we got home, we didn't want to take them off because they were so
They were pretty
comfortable.
cozy on a cold day. We're just like sitting around the house and just kind of bundled up. It's kind of like wrapping yourself up in a blanket.
Yeah, and they have these huge pockets on the pants and on the coat that you can just put just about anything in. You don't even end up needing a backpack half the time.
What I like about these is they have little magnets in here inside the pocket flap that They fall into place and they're really secure. And these are actually really quiet when you're out and about.
Right, very quiet.
So if you're a hunter, these
Unlike
are
the other
very.
Wrangler.
If you're a hunter, these are very quiet. Now the ones that are the real lightweight ones here that I have here, these I think they're probably made out of nylon and a ripstop. They're really noisy.
So if you're trying to evade the enemy or you're hunting,
Well, if you're a hunter, you're
These are
trying
the
to
better.
be stealth-like out in the woods. That lightweight gear may not be the thing for you. These are very quiet.
some of the things we're showing you are kind of investments. Like the rain gear was not cheap, especially the Rivers West brand. And I'm sure there's other brands out there that are equally as good. I will link to what I can below of what we have, and because this is what we have and we really like it. I know I love my set and I recommend it. I think it's worth the investment. It's one of those things when we talked about in our last video, if you're budgeting for prepping, it may be one of these things that you want to set aside, because you just never know when you're going to need something like this. And so I recommend that. Again, if you can go, you know, if you're not getting caught up in fashion and spending tons of money on clothes in other areas, then you can take, you know, you're cutting back or you're learning how to make your own clothes or whatever it is, then you can take what you're saving there or from what you're buying at garage sales and then put that away towards a good pair of boots and a good set of rain gear.
Right.
Because those are, you know, and even the Carhartt pants, because these are things I just don't think you should skimp on when it comes to quality. That's just my personal feeling. Now you may be able to find good deals even on some of this stuff. You might even be able to find at garage sales. I know we've never seen this kind of stuff at garage sales, because around here when it comes to Carhartts and anything like that, people wear them until there's nothing left of them. Yeah, and I've never seen that kind of rain gear at garage sales.
Yeah, this, you know, this is what we buy, and you know what we have. You know, we're not trying to peddle any one thing. That's just what we have, what we wear. And there's a lot of great companies out there that have a lot of great rain gear and good workwear. Just take a look. You know, something as simple as triple seams, the way things are put together. I like to pay attention to that kind of thing when I'm out shopping for clothes to wear.
The last thing that I want to add is, especially when it comes to, you think about the investment you've got, and we're talking about prepping. We got to be thinking about the fact that this stuff may not be available if, you know, a major catastrophe happens, whether it be, you know, on a global scale, on a national scale, or in your own home where you can't afford to go out and buy this stuff. And now you're wearing it, and now you're wearing out holes, just like I showed with the socks that I darned. You can learn how to patch your clothes too. And I mean, there's so many things, even your boots and shoes, there are ways that you can extend their life if you just learn a little bit about, you know, proper care. There's that shoe goo, that stuff works pretty good for at least a while. And that might be something to think to have on hand.
Also, it works good for water repellent too if you got a leak in your rain gear, right?
I don't know. I think maybe. I've used it to patch trampoline holes.
Yeah,
Worked pretty good on that.
Right.
When the
And
kids
there's
were young.
different rubber patches that you can buy. Like if you do, going back to the rain gear, if you have rain gear, you rip a hole in it. There's different patch kits that you can get. You might consider looking into that.
So yeah, learning the skills on how to fix things for yourselves, to repair these things, to extend their life and get more out of them is really, really important. Which, that reminds me of another video we're going to be doing. We still have several more videos in this series if you guys aren't getting too tired of us yet.
Part 7 of...
Yeah, this is part 7. We do have at least a part 8, 9, and maybe 10 coming up, because we're not done yet. So if you're new to our channel and you haven't seen the first 5 parts or 6 parts, go ahead and check out the playlist that this video will be in, and I will link to the playlist in one of the end cards at the end of this video, so make sure you stick to the end. That way you can find all the rest. So go check those out in case you've missed it, and keep in mind we also have more coming up. And Please keep sharing your ideas and suggestions below, because again, like Mr. Rain's already said, our needs here are going to be very unique and different than what your needs are going to be for attire, for whatever it is that you're prepping with and working on. So go ahead and share, like if you live in a drier climate, what are some good brands, what are some good things that you like to have on hand for attire that you find very important for you, and what kind of things do you use them for, what applications?
Like, subscribe, and share our video content to people who you think might benefit from it. And we really appreciate the feedback that we've been getting from our viewers. It's been great.
We learn as much from you guys as you do from us. All right, well, thanks for watching.
Take care.
And God bless.